I am so excited to be sharing this with you today. Hi everyone, my name is ChiliGong and welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. Today I want to share with you a video that I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and that is a tour of my island on Animal Crossing New Horizons. I spent a lot of hours on this game and I wanted to share my effort and my designs with you today. So if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button and subscribe because I am hoping and planning to make more videos in the future. So without further ado, let's begin the tour. Welcome to Bramblebee, where you can be happy. Let's first show you my mini-map. My dream address is below if you'd like to stop for a visit. As you can see here, my villagers include Bam, Lucky, Whitney, Dom, Stitches, Ketchup, Raymond, Julian, Apollo, and Pico. Pico and Bam are my favorites, although I also spoil Raymond. One of my main goals in designing my island was to maintain as much of the original topography as possible, particularly the rivers on the left side. The rivers there are essentially untouched since I started the game. So let's begin the tour. This is my entrance just outside the airport. It's a little area enclosed by waterfalls where I can meet and greet visitors and drop off presents and gifts. I love the statue of Nike, so I knew it just had to be in my entrance. I also really love waterfalls. One of my favorite places in the world with waterfalls is Iceland, which I used as inspiration for the placement of my own waterfalls. Now let's go inside my island. The first main area you're greeted by is my Asian-inspired alleyway. I saw a lot of these designs on Instagram and Twitter and really wanted to make one for myself because it reminded me of the bustling night markets that you can find in Asia. This leads to my registration desk with the big "We're Open" sign because Bramblebee is always open for business. This area also serves as my arcade. I like the pink robot the best. From the arcade, we head over to the right to Nook's Cranny. Here I placed the cranny on an elevated platform because it acts as a main hub, and I wanted to give it that sense of importance. My villagers will often hang out on this bench. There's also a lookout area to, you guessed it, some waterfalls. Heading down from the elevated plaza will lead you to the secondary plaza beside the residential services. Here's where you can find my Able Sisters shop. You'll also find here the main fountain of Bramblebee, which then leads into my European-inspired market. I wanted it to be an area where you could feel like you could sit down, have a coffee, and a baguette. I also love the flower cart item. Next up is the public beach. It was fun picking and choosing all the different designs that Sable can give you for the beach towels. I also made sure there was an outhouse in case people needed to pee, and plenty of beds to lie on and a hammock to relax. The beach then leads to a canal boardwalk. My inspiration for this boardwalk was the path beside the Seine in France. Orange trees are my native fruit, and this row of trees were planted very early on when I started playing Animal Crossing, and they actually haven't moved since then, and so these are the original trees. Passing by residential services, we'll then head over to my first main neighborhood. I tried to assign each of my villagers a role or job on the island, and then divided them into neighborhoods where they lived nearby their work. This is one of the main streets on my island, where I got to play with the perspective of the game. This is Dom's house, and in this first neighborhood, I gave everybody a little garden, as well as a couple of items of things they may do in their front yard. Let's head over to the area of the island that Dom takes care of. Because Dom has a jock personality, he takes care of the secret adventure beach, where people can go scuba diving, surfing, rock climbing, and camp outdoors. This is where I go out diving to find my daily scallop for Pascal. This then leads to Stitch's area, which is a playground. One of my favorite parts on this island is the car ride. The cars are parked in front of Dom's house because Dom really takes care of the cars, but Stitches just gets to play with them. Let's head over to Stitch's house now. And voila, nothing much, but I gave him the cute baby chairs that squeak. Next up is Pico's house, and given Pico's theme, I let her run a bubble tea cafe. Here you can get your boba fix and sip some by the seaside. I had a lot of fun making this bubble tea area, and it was one of the first sections that I conceived and also tried out custom paths. There's also a tiny barbecue area to have some skewers with your sweet, sweet BBT. Patrons who arrive early to the cafe can get the best seat in the house, which gives them a view of the museum. So let's head to the museum. This is the entrance to the museum, and it is very glamorous because that's what Blathers deserves, and I decorated it with gold panels and gold roses. The placement of the dinosaurs on top is to make it look like they're fighting, like a Pokemon battle. And of course, I had to have another Statue of Victory. The side beach is an extension of the museum with exhibits from history and space, and is still under construction. Going into the actual museum courtyard, you'll find outdoor art exhibits. My favorite season is autumn, both in-game and in real life, and so that's why I chose to do my tour during this time. Let me know in the comments section below which your favorite season is, both in real life and in Animal Crossing. I'll take a sec to show you some more waterfalls. Onwards we go to neighborhood number 2. Originally the road went directly straight here, but I placed a tiny parquet in order to act as a divider to give good feng shui to Apollo's house, which is just behind. In this second neighborhood, I gave all the villagers a backyard, and Apollo's backyard is the pumpkin patch. Since he's a cranky villager, this gives him the perfect opportunity to yell at people to get off his lawn or out of his backyard. Neighboring Apollo is Bam, and because he has a jock personality, I gave him a basketball court and an area where he can play all his sports. Now that brings us to Raymond's house. Raymond, being all smug and all posh, has his own deck with his own private swimming pool. How did Raymond get all the funds for this private pool? Well, he also runs the library next door that also connects to the secret beach where Red arrives. There's a rumor around Bramblebee that the library and Red have a deal to sell counterfeit art. Despite all the rumors, it's still a great place for the residents of Bramblebee to sit and relax and read a good book. This next area I'm just preparing for the winter and rolling snowboys. We head over now to what is known as the ruins of Bramblebee. This area was inspired by The Lord of the Rings. Lucky's house can be found here because he's a little bit of a lazy hermit, but he takes care of the ruins of Bramblebee. Some say that he even haunts them. I like the idea that there may have been a past civilization that used to live on Bramblebee, but now has been lost to time. The ruins act as my rock garden as well because I wanted to give this area form and function. I tried to place the rocks in a way that made it look like it was part of rubble. These rock-head statues could represent kings or emperors of the Bramblebee past, but who knows? I used the Rosetta Stone to act as an information tablet to explain the archaeological past of Bramblebee. I used autumn weeds and green mums to give the ruins a more overgrown look. Let's head over to the beaches on the east side of my island. This here is my sustainable energy lavender garden. It uses wind energy, solar energy, and hydroelectric energy to help power the lighthouse and the rest of Bramblebee. I personally think that the purple hyacinths look like lavender. Along the beach I have a small shell wetting area and a small fishing area. This connects to a tiki bar and music lounge. What's your favorite KK song? Let me know and it can be played right here. If you're feeling that you need a little bit of privacy from all the hard partying, there's a quiet place along the pier. To the left of the music lounge is Muscle Beach, where a beachside gym is run by Bam. I moved this beach 5 times before settling on its final location. And here's a diner just north of the music lounge that's run by Whitney. It also has a bakery and cake shop to satisfy the sweet tooth. This is also the only area where I can access a pond. Just north of the diner is Whitney's house, and Whitney's neighbor is Julian. Julian takes care of the area known as the Star Garden, which we will get to soon. Heading further north is my main flower garden. They're organized by type and color, which helps me when collecting for DIYs. Again, the perspective of the game makes it such a pleasure to walk through this field. Next up is my orchard, which also functions as a seasonal area. I used to have 2 humongous orchards, but now that I have enough bells and I don't need the fruit as much for them, I've been able to downsize on my orchard quite a bit. For the fall season, I had all my Halloween DIYs displayed, but this will be replaced at Christmas time with all the winter DIYs. And just up this ramp heads back to the ruins of Bramblebee. On the left, however, this leads to my Zen garden. I'm really proud of this section because it's the first diagonal bridge that I constructed for my island. This area was inspired by another YouTube channel called Tack Gaming. I'll leave a link in the description below. Essentially, his videos go over tips and tricks on how to design your island, and I found them super helpful. This is a nice viewpoint of the ruins of Bramblebee. The bridge up here leads back to the library. And heading south will now take us to the campsite. Ketchup is the one who runs the campsite, and she has this really cute picnic area just outside her house as well. I think because of her peppy personality, it's perfect for her to welcome any potential newcomers to the island. And ta-da! This is my campsite. I chose to put a lot of yellow and white mums around the area because I think they kind of look like dandelions, and it just gives the whole campsite a more wild look, along with the evergreen trees. The campsite is surrounded by cliffs, waterfalls, and there's also a pond to fish in, perfect for camping. Here's just a small bench that I think has a pretty photogenic view of my diagonal bridge leading to the Zen garden. We'll pass by my blue rose garden, a picnic table, and go through a slot canyon. This takes us to the Star Garden, which I mentioned is maintained by Julian. It's a pretty important nexus connecting different parts of my island. Now that the ice DIYs are out, I do plan on replacing some of these cliff pillars with ice pillars. To the east heads back to Julian's house, to the south heads to the Muscle Beach Gym, run by Bam, and to the west goes back to the Able Sister Plaza and the Elevated Nooks Cranny Plaza. The last major section on my island is the Central Island, which is where my home is also located. Leading into my home is the glowy mushroom fairy tale garden. I still don't have all the mushroom DIYs, so let me know if we can trade some. I love the glowing lights, especially in the nighttime. Alrighty then, let's head inside my home. Welcome to my humble abode. Apologies for the slight mess, I do need to give these DIYs away. This is the main living room area. I have the dining table with the Lazy Susan and a sectional area with the TV. I really wanted to go with an industrial modern look, hence the brick wall and the wooden floors. Let's head to the bathroom. I used cloud flooring with the wood patterned carpet to get that sauna look. This bathroom is a relaxing place for a bath or for a very, very private poop. Let's head to the kitchen next. For the kitchen, I wanted to continue the industrial look from the main living room. I also used the arched window wall to help open up the space. It was really hard for me to not fill up the room with everything because there were just so many items that I liked. Now onwards to the study room. The idea behind my study room was to make it like a really trendy hostel common room where people can gather and lounge. Oh, and yes, study too. I think the graffiti wall is really cool, and I think it'd be awesome to have this kind of wall in my own home. This room also has the laundry machine, so you can do some laundry while studying. Or instead of all that, just take a nap on the hammock. We'll head upstairs to my bedroom next. To the left is the main sleeping quarters, and you can catch a glimpse of the villager portraits that I've collected. I also really love the cafe curtain wall. As soon as I saw it was something available in-game, I knew it had to be in my bedroom so that I could allow as much natural light in as possible. Over on the other side here is another cozy living space. I can do the things I enjoy and love, including reading, watching TV, playing video games, and playing the piano. The last room in my house is the basement. Again, sorry for the mess, but leave a thumbs up if you agree that Animal Crossing should add a way to store DIYs. But I digress. My basement is meant to entertain guests, and so the idea behind it was to look like a speakeasy, as though it was behind a hidden bookshelf. There's a bar, kitchenette, pool table, and a grand piano to play some smooth jazz. I forget the name of this particular flooring, but I used it to also give this area more of a club vibe. So that concludes the tour of my island, Bramblebee. Thank you so much for coming along with me. It was so much fun. I have spent a ridiculous amount of time on this game, and so I really wanted to take this opportunity to share my hard work with you guys. Let me know in the comment section below if you'd like me to share more of my builds in the future, or do Dream Island tours as well. Again, thank you so much for watching my island tour of Bramblebee. It really means a lot that I finally got to complete this video. It's been a crazy year, and Animal Crossing has definitely been a huge part of helping me through that year. So I wish everybody happy holidays, and stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. Thanks.